Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, South African comedy is alive and well, especially when it comes to these guys on our couch right now. Now, this June, it's taking over the northern suburbs at the brand new Cultura festival out in Durbanville. Yes, the North is alive. Two of the country's all-time comedy favorites. We've got Marc Lottering and we've got Hilton, and they're hitting the stage with fresh shows and decades of legendary laughs behind them. One's sharp and slick, the other totally off the cut, but you know exactly how to bring the house down, these two. So let's give them a feel good welcome.
Thank you. Are you Mark's just told me I got coffee on my face.
No, he's got coffee on his face.
How did that happen, Barry? What's it?
I don't know. Maybe I'm auditioning for that new advert that they're talking on the, you know, that energy drink. What you got there? For coffee.
Oh yes, I know that one. So good. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning, for waking up, blessing us with your presence. We've made you coffee, so that's at least a peace offering.
Thank you. I got some on my face too.
You get some water eventually,
Yes,
Marc.
okay,
good.
real coffee,
But Barry, let's talk about this. Going over to the north, out in Durbanville, they also just Cultura. They're just as funny over there, you know.
Very much.
What excites you most about heading into the community and making sure that makes sense?
There's a lot of money there.
Yes.
There's a lot of money.
in Durbanville.
What excites me most, you know, I'm very fortunate that my humour seems to go across all over the place.
Right.
But there's no real difference between the people in the north and the people in the south. But except I was driving my Porsche past Century City.
Wow.
And as I passed Century City...
What a sentence!
Wow.
No, hold on. As I passed Century City, it turned into a cortina. So
is that the Durbanville's curtain? What is that? I don't know.
Yeah, the people in the north are great. I actually work there a lot. Marc works
Yes,
there.
we work at the same venue often.
Not at the same time.
No.
Because that would be... amazing.
Well, it might be, yeah.
Incredible. Disastrous. No,
there's a lot of new clubs
that side of the
springing
world.
up into in that side of the world.
That's fantastic. But why zone in on the north? Why Durbanville?
Because that's Margriet. She organised it, and it's the Cultuurfest, just to show the culture of the people there that live there, and it's just lekker. It's going to be music and speeches.
And I think they're celebrating Durbanville as well, because it's reached, you know, they have this anniversary.
Also, do you know, it's 100 years.
It's 100 years of Afrikaans yesterday.
That's right.
So I don't know if it's coincidental that it's coinciding with celebrating Durbanville.
I think so.
The pretty thing about driving out that way for me is because, you know, I live in Woodstock, so it's the other side. So I got a permit to go to Durbanville, which I'm always so grateful for. But I sometimes feel like I'm driving onto a movie set. Everything is neat
and bigger.
Neat and clean and big, and I mean...
And there's nobody walking in the streets. You're thinking,
right? Where am I?
Yeah, it's very weird. And
am I on the Truman Show?
Yeah, exactly. And I drive with my own handcuffs in case I'm going to get arrested, because you just feel something strange here. But the people of the venue that Barry refers to, that him and I often perform at, is a venue there called Die Boer. And
that's a name.
That's quite a name, right? But things are turned on its head. I love names that intrigue you immediately.
Right.
And when I started performing there, you essentially got audiences who came from that side. But it's changed now because people know about the venue. You can hardly get a ticket there. It's very popular. But people who live out that way, you know, there's a giving nature.
Yeah, they're lekker people, eh?
There's a giving nature.
They come to the shows in shorts.
Barefoot or at least some shoes on?
No, they've got the floppies or shorts, and they come with those two-tone...
Yes, I know. I love
the
those.
Green and
the khaki.
I'm very happy for you that you can see the audience. I asked them to turn the lights down so that I can assume everyone's coloured. Then I feel like I'm at home.
Then you feel it.
Then I'm like, and I'm having a rock and roll time. So I'm not sure what my audience is wearing. But audiences have been supportive there.
Brilliant.
I think also over the years it was always easier for us to make jokes about the north, but that's become a bit old-fashioned.
Okay.
Because younger people are moving there now.
Oh my gosh!
It's cheaper.
No, because some people are calling it a sexier option.
Yes.
It is cheaper.
It's just nice.
They're quite happy to be out that way. Sorry to cut your words, sir.
No, it's fine. You know, sometimes I have ADHD. Okay.
I love that.
So
for you.
it just happens to me. So I walk on stage, and I said, "Is this place?" It was my first gig there. I said, "Is this place? Do they hate Afrikaans people here?" And they was like, "Why?" I said, "Because if you read the sign outside, it says die, boo."
Oh my! I was going to ask you what your favorite Afrikaans word is, but I don't know how great you are at Afrikaans. Barry, what's your favorite Afrikaans word?
Can I say it?
I don't know if you can say it.
Whoa, if he's asking.
Then you already
Look,
know.
Yeah.
it starts with a K.
Okay.
And ends with a K.
I like this because same.
No,
yes.
it's kayak.
It's Marc, how about you? What's your favorite Afrikaans word?
Well,
or phrase?
it's my favorite Afrikaans phrase because it will happen every second day. Because I hang out with friends who, when we leave home and we're looking great, we still leave home and we're very rah, rah, rah. You know, everything's just great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're hitting the town. It's fantastic. And then after our third, after the second whiskey and the third tequila,
Yeah.
you go back to who you really are. So
Take your
because
teeth
up
out.
until no, we got our own teeth. But up until that point, we're looking very Colombian and very
Yeah.
Brazilian. But you know, Mitchell's Play never leaves you.
It's gonna come
so
out.
then my favorite phrase then eventually becomes kiki worry. Now kiki worry is a
love it.
segue into skinnering about
Right.
what someone's wearing or who's here with who.
It's always the chap.
Because, and this is the great thing about Cultura Festival as well, because there's also talk about celebrating Afrikaans. I believe we should celebrate every South African language.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
And for where I come from, what I love about Afrikaans is when, no matter how posh we try to be, but when we are about to talk about somebody else, there's no juicier way. So I can be talking to you and I'm going, no, Thursday night was absolutely great, Barry. And I were then just al nooit glo wat Barry gedoen het.
And then leave
Do you know what I've noticed?
Because Afrikaans makes it lekker.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. In South Africa, amongst the, if you will, the coloured community,
Yeah.
they speak Afrikaans, okay? They also speak English.
Yes.
Yes.
My best friend is a guy called Kashif Kostoffels. Okay? He's
Great
a great guy,
surname.
and he's a coloured guy, but he's funny as. He doesn't know he's so funny, but he's funny. And I said to him the other day, "How many languages do you speak?" He says, "Well, I do English and Afrikaans." I said, "No, you do English, you do Afrikaans, and then when you're with your other friends from Mitchell's Play, you do another Afrikaans."
Oh, yes.
And all of a sudden,
Oh, yes,
that's my
very.
boy, AJ. Marc, AJ.
Afrikaans comes out for sure. Okay, let's touch base quickly with Cultura Fest. I know that you're also encouraging the next generation
Absolutely.
of comedians and funny men and women that they are. So tell me a little bit more about, I think it was called the brand new band battle for high school groups. What's that about?
Well, it's just kids that are music, you know, maybe music that we're going to think, look, but somebody in the audience is going to go, like,
We love that.
this is the next one, this is
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so
I love that too, because I think with this festival, there's certainly a segment where there's a focus on giving the young people an opportunity. And in this case, it's through music. And I think we all want to do that. Barry and I love to do that with comedy as well. We were sitting on the couch there talking about the younger comedians,
guys.
you
I
know,
always
what
give
are our
younger guys
thoughts on the
support.
younger comedians? And sometimes, you know, I know from my own perspective, and this is what I want to change. I want to stop talking about what they are like and what they're doing, what they're not doing, because obviously nobody can be as fabulous as us.
Of course.
But
Let's establish that.
I want
You know,
to. I
was going to say that.
I want to be part of. I'd like for people to look back and go, you know, Barry or Marc were part of providing a platform, and that's what I want to focus on before this year is out as well. Is because I think that people are losing the perspective. We've become so focused on being and looking successful. I know in our business where the focus should be on be funny. So
just
that's what I
discussing
want to
that.
do, yeah, be funny. And just to come back to the bands thing, I think what I like about the festival, it's about giving young people the opportunity,
Absolutely.
the voice,
Absolutely.
and the audience
Oh,
as
come
well.
on. The chance to embrace and
Yes,
see something
and then
new.
be surrounded by other people who've been in the business for a little bit longer, so you can
Definitely.
influence them positively. I answered that like a perfect beauty queen.
You
and I
did.
love
Where's the
I
sash?
am
No,
right
you're
now.
like
And
an
the
agent. You
crown.
could sell
Yeah.
me on
I
that.
love
I know.
that.
You could just
Well,
say, Barry,
James.
Barry, oh, you don't understand. He's so good with the
feel
guys.
that. I felt that.
I love it. If you want to see
Is it
this on a
20% you want?
stage, you can definitely do that.
Shame she's
21
trying to
June is
talk.
where it all happens. Ons taal, ons
Is it really
story. It is Cultura Fierce. And make sure that you get yourself tickets, because why would you not? Legends in the game, providing the platform for the next gen. We want to see it happen. Come on.